Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Face to Face at CBM University on the occasion of National Education Day. I'm your host, Anna, and today we are celebrating a day that reminds us the power of education. And today's theme of National Education Day is AI and education, which talks about preserving human agency in the world of automation. And this could not be more relevant as technology is, changing the way we are learning and we are living. So to explore this theme, we are very, very honored, truly honored to have Professor Dr. Indrajit Patel sir with us. Provost CBM University, a great visionary, a great leader who's been a guiding light of CBM University. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So my first question to you is AI is changing the way we are learning, we are living. So this year's theme talks about preserving human agency in the world of automation. What does this theme really mean to you?
Yes, to be honestly speaking, as an academician and leader of the university, I appreciate that preserving the human agencies in the era of AI and automation addresses the challenges and opportunity both in conventional pedagogy and pedagogy enabled by the technology. We at CVM University merely considering this AI as an opportunity rather than challenge. Using AI and automation is now at each and every sector of education and research to industry and our daily life as well. But along with technology and transformation, the human engineering, the societal question must be at our center. The students are not really using AI as a replacement of a human mind, but this particular theme to me is ensuring that people should remain in control how this automation play a pivotal role in the change. We should not take in other way, but this it is a educating mind, nurturing the values so that our core values of ethical judgment and purpose can remain at the heart.
सर बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि ऑटोमेशन के आने से ह्यूमन क्रिएटिविटी रिड्यूस हो रही है, इट इज़ इम्पैक्टिंग द एम्पैथी। तो आपको क्या लगता है कि यूनिवर्सिटीज़ स्टूडेंट्स को कैसे हेल्प कर सकती हैं टू कीप दोज़ क्वालिटीज़ इंटैक्ट, अलाइव इन दिस एआई वर्ल्ड?
It is a very relevant question in context to use of AI and automation in conventional pedagogical activities. University have a very vital role to play. How we can nurture our young minds to use AI as a tool, not as a replacement of any teaching learning methodology. In a context of recently adopted NEP 2020, universities have flexibility to, design the curriculum which is interdisciplinary, which is multidisciplinary, engaging students into experiential learning, peer-to-peer learning, as well as problem-solving based learning. This will make students not purely dependent upon automation tool or AI, but they will try to harness their creativity, their positive mindset, as well as some of the activities in which the groups are involved, so that the students will keep them ourselves from some technology and the real teaching learning process can play over there. Teachers or educators have a very special role to participate in this type of this process by way of a curriculum which enhance the thought process of the students to just use AI as a tool, not as a replacement of any teaching learning process.
Right, sir. So my next question to you is, in your viewpoint, which is a bigger problem? A student using AI to cheat, to copy, or a teacher stopping a student from using AI instead of creating an assignment which is, develop creativity, original thinking? So in your viewpoint, which is a bigger problem?
This is again a very interesting question. I believe we should not prevent the student using AI or any other platform for their teaching learning process, but we should align their mindset by addressing what are the challenges and what are the opportunities for using AI in their teaching learning process so that the students can use smartly these tools.
Right.
It is not true that students will cheat us by using AI or other tool, but as a professor, as a teacher, we must consider this. The students are backed by some technology or tool, and we should take in a very positive way so that our conventional pedagogy can be backed by a set type of the tools so that there is effectiveness within a stipulated time or within a stipulated framework on the syllabus for coming out with the outcome which have been desired for that particular program or course so that the overall pedagogy can be effective for the sustainable development of the students which consider both technology and mind back to back.
Sir, if AI gives wrong answer or biased answer, who do you think should be held responsible for this? Student, teacher, or the company who has developed this AI?
When AI gives a wrong or biased answer, it is a shared responsibility. But when I talk primarily, then it is a company who developed this particular tool. Though they take enough care for extracting the data from various platform, but if the compilation goes wrong, the students will arrive with bias or some wrong answers. At this point of time, it's a moral responsibility of educators to make the students understand the limitations of such platform, as well as we must question the dependency of such outcome. Hence, in essence, the responsibility lies in the developers, that is creators, the users, the educators, as well as the end users, the students. The academic goal should be to cultivate informed and critical engagement of this technology so that answers which are being given by such platform or the tool, they are neutralized, normalized for their holistic application into teaching learning process as well as evaluation process.
So my next question to you is, as AI is getting smarter day by day, so what do you think are the few human skills that we should never give up on, the ones that defines creativity and identity?
Yes, we rightly said when AI become more and more smarter, we should not give up the human qualities, the the skill set like the creativity, like the empathy, ethical judgment, purpose, critical thinking, and interdependability. AI can process information, but it cannot imagine, it cannot care, it cannot make the moral choices like a human mind can. So, engagement of AI as well as automation should be very wise enough so that our inherent values and capabilities are deployed side by side so that there is a effective pedagogical exchange, and teachers should not be merely considered as a information giver, but side by side it will addresses how he can nurture the young minds to harness their creativities as well as the participation in two-way teaching learning process.
राइट सर। सर आपकी नज़र में टीचर्स को, यूनिवर्सिटी लीडर्स को क्या रोल प्ले करना चाहिए टू एंश्योर कि ये जो एआई लर्निंग है ये फेयर रहे, वैल्यू ड्रिवन रहे?
विश्वविद्यालय के जो एकेडमिक लीडर्स है उनको ये इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि एआई लर्निंग एक मानवीय अभिगम से हो। विद्यार्थी की जो अंदरूनी शक्ति है, उनकी जो सोच में विविधता है, ये अंदरूनी शक्ति और विविधता को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर लाके और एआई को एक टूल की तरह यूज़ करके अपने आप को कैसे विश्वसनीय ग्रेजुएट बनाए जो एक मजबूत नींव रखे कि समृद्ध समाज बने, एक समृद्ध देश बने और देश की जो विकास गाथा है वो अपना योगदान दे। दिस मीन्स द सेटिंग ए क्लियर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ फेयरनेस, promoting a digital literacy with a humanity, integrating human values, empathy, and the social responsibility, so that we are not producing merely a industry-ready graduate, but equally a globally responsible citizen.
How do you think CVM University is helping students to become the creators of AI and not just merely the user of technology?
At CVM University, you all of know that we work with the motto Gnan, Vignan, and Pragnan. All this terminology, all these three pillars of our vision addresses that students should not be purely dependent on the tools and technology for effective teaching and learning. We are here to focus on our students to be creators rather than consumers of technology. We encourage innovation through project-based learning, through team building, through experiential learning, through internships, to target the students to the real world problems, so that merely they are not focused on the teaching learning process that is taken done under the four walls of a classroom. Even the teachers at our university, they are constantly engaged to different activities like student startup and innovation club, creativity clubs, and various societies like IEEE, Computer Society, IST, NSS, and such like outreach programs. So there is blending of physical work as well as mental work. So this will also keep the students to use readily the AI or other platforms and engaging them with their insights and their thought process, which are holistic for their fruitful development.
वेरी ट्रू सर। तो जैसे कि आपने बात करी कि सीवीएम यूनिवर्सिटी में जो हम प्रोग्राम्स पढ़ाते हैं, उसमें हम एआई और टेक्नोलॉजी की हेल्प से रियल वर्ल्ड चैलेंजेस को सॉल्व करते हैं। सो आपके अकॉर्डिंग किस टाइप की स्किल्स स्टूडेंट्स एंड टीचर्स में होनी चाहिए टू सक्सीड इन दिस एज ऑफ एआई?
जैसे कि मैंने पहले आपसे बताया कि बच्चों को हम वेरी क्लियर मैसेज और अंडरस्टैंडिंग देना चाहिए कि जैसे परंपराओं से एक गुरु शिष्य की जो परंपरा है वो प्रूवन है। चाहे हम त्रेता युग की बात करें, चाहे हम द्वापर युग की बात करें, चाहे हम तक्षशिला और नालंदा की बात करें, वहाँ जो विद्यार्थी का इन्वॉल्वमेंट होता था, उनका एंगेजमेंट होता था। इवन अभी की जो प्राइमरी एजुकेशन है, उसमें भी क्लासरूम टीचिंग लर्निंग के अलावा कुछ उद्यम का क्लास होता है उसका, कुछ व्यायाम का क्लास होता है और कुछ कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट की क्लासेस भी होती है। इससे बच्चे टेक्नोलॉजी से एडिक्शन धीरे धीरे कम होता है, क्योंकि उनकी जो फिजिकल इन्वॉल्वमेंट होती है, ये केवल फिजिकल इन्वॉल्वमेंट और एंगेजमेंट नहीं है, साथ में उनका मानस भी उनके साथ रहता है कि आज मैं ये उद्यम करूँगा तो उससे मुझे क्या फ़ायदा होगा, उसका आउटकम क्या होगा। तो वो जे के साथ वो बच्चा एज एन इंडिविजुअल और ग्रुप में काम करते हैं। जैसे मेरी मैं प्राथमिक शिक्षा की बात करूँ, तो प्राथमिक शिक्षा में हमें खेती विषय भी था, तो हम स्कूल के पीछे थोड़ा बागयात करते थे। उसमें मेथी है, उसमें जो गुलाब के फूल है और उसमें जो एनिमल्स है, आई मीन हाउस होल्ड हमारे जो केटल्स है, उसके लिए हम वेजिटेशन भी ग्रो करते थे। तो कैसे उसको प्लाव करना, कैसे उसको पानी देना, कैसे उसको खाद देना, कैसे उसे हार्वेस्ट करना। सो दिस टाइप ऑफ द रियल वर्ल्ड वर्क शुड बी मोर बी देयर। अब जब हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें, तो केवल हम उसको ब्लैक बोर्ड और स्मार्ट बोर्ड पर एंगेज न रखें, क्योंकि जो बच्चे का मेजर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन है वो ब्लैक बोर्ड पर, स्मार्ट बोर्ड पर नहीं है। उनका नज़र होगा स्मार्ट बोर्ड पर और टीचर्स के आइज़ में, लेकिन उनका जो मन है वो काफ़ी कुछ सोचता रहता है। तो हाउ वी कैन हार्वेस्ट हिज थिंकिंग प्रोसेस ड्यूरिंग आवर टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस, दैट माइंडसेट वी एज एन एजुकेटर, वी एज अ यूनिवर्सिटी सिस्टम शुड हैव थिंक अबाउट। सिमुलेशन बेस्ड है, और अभी जो नई शिक्षा नीति हम इंटर्नशिप की बात करते हैं, तो इन सीवीएम यूनिवर्सिटी we take our students for the summer university in the industry. Suppose I took up engineering, so they go to mechanical engineering. some IT और सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट कंपनी, हमारे जो मैनेजमेंट के बच्चे तो बैंकिंग सेक्टर में जाते हैं, हमारे जो फूड और साइंस की तो बच्चे एग्रीकल्चर में जाते हैं, फूड सेक्टर में जाते हैं। तो ये 2 सेमेस्टर के बीच में वो रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम देखते हैं, चैलेंजेस देखते हैं, और वही माइंडसेट के साथ वो क्लास में बैठेगा तो जो टीचर्स का डिलीवरी है वो मोर इफेक्टिव होगा। Even also now in our university system, the final semester we deploy full into the industries where is supposed to go after graduation or post graduation.
Right.
So इस प्रकार के जो क्रिएटिव पेडागोजिकल करिकुलम डिज़ाइन है, इट विल मोर हेल्पफुल टू द कन्वेंशनल टीचिंग लर्निंग। और आजकल सभी यूनिवर्सिटी में, सभी स्कूल और कॉलेज में ये नए शिक्षा नीति की जो प्रणाली है वो धीरे धीरे प्रोग्रेसिवली एडॉप्ट होते हैं। और बाय 2030 most of the university will adopt this new education policy 2020. It is not a circular, it is not a policy, but it is a mindset which is required to be realigned, reorient for the effective teaching learning process at any level.
राइट सर। सर, आज हम बात कर रहे हैं डिजिटल इंडिया की, एआई की, लेकिन इंडिया में आज भी बहुत सारे स्कूल्स हैं जहाँ प्रॉपर इंफ्रा नहीं है, प्रॉपर क्लासरूम्स नहीं है, प्रॉपर टॉयलेट्स नहीं हैं। सो आपको क्या लगता है कि इंडिया में आज भी एजुकेशन लिमिटेड है सिर्फ प्रिविलेज्ड चिल्ड्रंस के लिए? आपका क्या टेक है इस पे?
I partly agree with your question और partly do not agree with your question. पिछले दशक से हम देखें और सोचे और जाने कि शिक्षा को राज्य सरकार और केंद्र सरकार द्वारा अग्रिमता दी गई है। शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य दोनों एक सिक्के के दो पहलू है, और राज्य और केंद्र सरकार अपनी पूरी कोशिश करती है कि शिक्षा के अनुसंधान में जो भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, कन्वेंशनल क्लासरूम है, स्मार्ट क्लासरूम है, और स्वास्थ्य के लिए अच्छे शौचालय का भी निर्माण पिछले दशक में काफ़ी एग्रेसिव हुआ है। और ये नहीं होना, ये कोई चैलेंज नहीं है, ये लिमिटेशन नहीं है। जब हम डिजिटल क्रांति की बात करते हैं तो हर बच्चे के हर घर में, हर हाथ में एक स्मार्टफोन होता है। तो केंद्र सरकार, राज्य सरकार, देन जो सेंट्रल बोर्ड है, स्टेट बोर्ड है, इंटरनेशनल बोर्ड है, तो लोगों ने कई लर्निंग रिसोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट किए गए हैं। तो क्लास में सुविधा न होने से भी ऐसी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन और ट्रेडिशन ऑफ लर्निंग टीचिंग बनाया है कि मोबाइल के जरिए भी हम देख ले, एग्जाम्पल ऑफ कोरोना, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू एनी फिजिकल क्लास,
राइट।
even you go to this in a slum, to the middle house, middle income group house, or the people house of corporate, they are equipped with tablet or smartphone. A kid was using the mobile of his or her mom or dad, and the teaching learning has done very effectively. And the result even during this pandemic of the corona is very exciting. There's nowhere in the world this education has stopped, but it has brought with more opportunities rather the challenges. जैसे कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री बताते हैं कि आफत को अवसर में परिवर्तित करना, तो इससे आज डिजिटल रिवॉल्यूशन है। आज गांव के भी बच्चे हैं, स्लम एरिया के बच्चे हैं, द पीपल हु आर नॉट रीच्ड, दे आर ऑल्सो ब्लेस्ड विद द टेक्नोलॉजी, एंड the organizers, the educators, the facilitators, they through satellite transmit all this. Even if we talk about the Swayam channel or Vignan Darshan or Gnan Darshan or Durdarshan, even they are broadcasting even regular curriculum of 10th and 12th students.
राइट।
So similarly, this physical infrastructure न होना ये चैलेंज नहीं है, लेकिन उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी में लेके ये जो डिजिटल टूल्स है, डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, उसे हम कैसे एकोमोडेट करके हमारी शिक्षा व्यवस्था उसको सुदृढ़ बनाए, वही हम एजुकेटर्स का भी कर्तव्य है, विश्वविद्यालय का कर्तव्य है कि उसको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सेंसिटाइज करें। जैसे हम यूनिवर्सिटी में LMS बनाते हैं, तो स्टूडेंट्स विल कम अबाउट द असाइनमेंट गिवन बाय द his or her professor. So again, he will write and upload on the. So this communication will be faster rather than a physical contact. And the assignment or some exercise given to the students will make more of them thinking rather the conventional tutorial or practical way of their work. So I consider this constraint not as a challenge but opportunity to harness this digital revolution not within India but across the globe.
सर मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगी कि अगर आपको एक अवसर दिया जाए तो आप एजुकेशन में क्या चेंज लाना चाहेंगे?
Very honestly, and to be without any prejudice or without aligning to any political mindset, I will definitely say that and endorse it that since last 54 years, the NEP 2020 is a very big revolution and transformation in education system. It addresses the fundamentals, it addresses the culture, it addresses the heritage, and together with advances in pedagogical revolution. The conventional classroom has taken place of a creative platform. The conventional laboratories has taken place of a center for innovation and research. The conventional tutor room has converted into place where mindful assignments are being submitted. The tutorials with presence of mind and tutorials with a specific outcome which has been described in outcome-based education system because every course, every program has its desired outcome, whether it is at the course level or program level. The Washington Accord, which is responsible for the global quality assurance and implementation parameters, focus on outcome. So wherever we teach, whatever we teach, whenever we evaluate, the purpose of education must be at the center. We must respect and make the students why you are in the class of arranged engineering for 4 years. And we as a teacher must accept what is my primary responsibility and role where my students should be there at the end of the 4 years. So this philosophy must be very clear, very concrete. Day one, students put their step into the campus of your university and you must appreciate where you want to see your students when he step out your university after 3 years or 4 years of the graduation.
बिल्कुल सही सर। सर आई एम अ मदर ऑफ अ 5 ईयर ओल्ड किड। तो अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ, जब मैं पढ़ा करती थी, जैसे मेरे पेरेंट्स मेरी एजुकेशन पे जो चीज़ें करते थे और अगर मैं आज अपने आप से कंपेयर करूँ तो देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस। पेरेंट्स उस टाइम कैसे करते थे, इस टाइम कैसे करते हैं। तो आपकी नज़र में आज की डेट में जो पेरेंट्स हैं, वो क्या गलती कर रहे हैं बच्चे की एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करने में, या मे बी व्हाट कंट्रीब्यूशन दे कैन डू टू इंश्योर कि बच्चा एक्चुअली एजुकेट हो रहा है?
The question is very, very important and to be addressed with a open mind, pure heart, and inward soul. I have seen the transformation in education system. A student learning in a classroom just under asbestos sheet or a mangrove tiles, but they have play fields. The students were engaged, as I mentioned, in activities learning beyond curriculum. The teachers were so healthy, happy, and holy that they think the students as not their stakeholders, but they used to consider students as a part of their family. In the transformation of technology, infrastructures, and philosophy, as well as the social upliftment, the parents, right from slum to corporate, they always think about the branding of the school, the board with which the school or college is affiliated, the medium of instruction in teaching learning, without looking to the ground reality. I will use the word, it is the social unhealthy competitions. If my neighbor's son or daughter is studying in CBSE, why my students go to a Gujarat secondary board? If my parents or my friends board is going for skating and boxing training, my board should not go for that. But they are not aware about the economical background of a family. They are not aware about the inherent genetic values of the family. But in an era of competitive world, competition is there in technology, competition is there in transportation, competition is there in costumes and cosmetics, competition is there in each and every field, wherever we look, wherever we think. But education is not field to compete. Our mind should be very clear why I am sending my word for education. What is the purpose? मैं एजुकेशन को एक बिजनेस के रूप में देखना चाहता हूँ, या मैं एजुकेशन को एक सेवा का पर्याय देखना चाहता हूँ। अगर ये जो मायने हमारे मन में एकदम क्लियर होगी, तो ये नौबत नहीं आती। हम देखते हैं आज जो हॉकर्स के बच्चे हैं, वो भी अपने बच्चे को अच्छी स्कूल में रखना चाहते हैं, बट दे डू नॉट नो वेदर व्हाट विल बी द आउटकम ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर एंगेजमेंट ऑफ माय वर्ड, हिज और हर वर्ड इन द स्कूल। हम जितने भी सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर है, पॉलिटिशियंस है, कॉरपोरेटर्स है, सोशल लीडर्स है, स्पिरिचुअल लीडर्स है, तो उनकी हम जर्नी देखें तो इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम क्रैश। बट नाउ पेरेंट्स बिलीव दैट by putting their words into some excellent school, by just hearing the name of the professors, by just knowing the affiliation of that particular school, we do not look to the soul of the for what purpose this school is working. Whether this school has some noble cause of societal upliftment or nation building, no. I am a member of a FRC of the school, and I come across many varieties of the schools, right from the tribal area to the metropolitan city. There is diversity in terms of infrastructures, in terms of the thought process for what they are running the schools. At the center, they count the balance sheet. Right. So parents must be very clear. If they want a holistic development of his or her kid, if they expect a sustainable career growth and opportunity beyond, then they should not engage in such competitions which is socially backed.
Right.
Which is socially backed. Even there is no culture of any performing arts in my family. In generation 3 or 4 generations before, I would love my ward should go for the Kathak and Bharatanatyam. For what? Just we are wasting the time of a kid. We are pressurizing her or him because regular school hours, then some tuitions, then some extracurricular engagement.
जी.
So where we are giving time to have a food with a nutrition, with a proper, engagement of the kids for their food habits, for their rest habits, for their playings. Now there is culture of the Medan social. What is this? There are enough place in the school or college to play indoor games, outdoor games, but the students don't find time because of the, enforcement of the parents, that outcome, grades, numbers, rank. So without looking to the reality, the mindset of the students, our kids, the preparedness of the kids, and how active and agile he is there to reciprocate all this development. The parents are behind numbers and ranks. So this will really, or day to day, will not lift the quality of education or the level of education, but it will deteriorate. And as a society, as a parent, we must think all these things. I will give you example. जब मैं स्कूल में था, जीवे स्कूल में, it was normally not purely a metropolitan convent school. वहाँ जो रेक्टर थे, और they have invited some psychiatrists or some educators. In 7th standard, they measures our capabilities. Oh, my ambition was to be doctor. But through series of questions, series of counseling sessions, they come to know that you are fit for a professor and professional. And I have changed my mindset right from 7th standard. I asked my parents that I will not prepare myself for medicine, but I will go for a professional and professional. So this type of the culture, this type of the counseling through the society, through the educational institutes, through the universities should be there. So there is the holistic grooming of the kid for his or her professional growth as well as the educational career growth.
वेरी वेल सेड सर। सर आज भी बहुत सारे स्कूल्स हैं, बहुत सारी जगहें हैं जहाँ पर रीजनल लैंग्वेज में पढ़ाई कराई जाती है। सो स्टूडेंट्स बहुत कंफर्टेबल होते हैं अपने रीजनल लैंग्वेज में। अब जब ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स कहीं बाहर जाते हैं फॉर हायर एजुकेशन जहाँ पर वो लैंग्वेज नहीं पढ़ाई जाती है या वो चेंज उन्हें देखना पड़ता है, तो उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए आपका क्या सजेशन है, क्या राय है कि वो कैसे कोप अप करें इन सब चीज़ों से, ऐसी सिचुएशन को कैसे हैंडल करें?
काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण ये सवाल है। बच्चे जब स्कूलिंग, प्राथमिक शिक्षा और उच्च माध्यमिक शिक्षा अपनी वर्नाक्युलर लैंग्वेज में जब करते हैं, तो उच्च शिक्षा के संस्थानों में और विश्वविद्यालय में जब जाते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली देयर मे बी सम hindrance, rather challenge to cope up the philosophy, terminology and heart of the subjects which are being delivered at the higher education institution. But again, there is a transformative decision has been taken by the central government through a very rigorous studies of samples from tribal area, from rural area, from villages, corporation to metros, about the progress of the students coming from the schools with a vernacular language teaching learning to the English as a global language. There is a terminal called bridge course or induction course, which is now mandatory for all higher education institutions to bridge the philosophy between the school education and the college education. During this bridge course at university, particularly our university, we have implemented since inception of the university. The students are exposed to geography of the town. They are made aware about the history of the development of this university or institutions. And along with that, they are imbibing the spirit of the philosophy at the institution of higher education by way of engaging them in the classes of mathematics, science, and communication skill with the English or global language as a platform. So what they have learned during the schooling, English as a secondary language, and how it can be converted to the primary language of teaching learning. So minimum 3 weeks to 5 weeks, the universities, they are deploying in the induction and bridge course. And this will not bridge only the communication gap, but the geography diversity, the financial diversity, the language diversity. They will be taken care during these particular 3 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And students is ready to now go to the classes of higher education with a comfort that whatever things are taught in English at least he will reciprocate in the initial semesters. And slowly and gradually, each higher education institution, whether you go for the commerce, management, engineering, science, or medical, the education curriculum sector has been designed in such a way that 30%, 25 to 30% courses must be of fundamental science, communications, psychology, as well as philosophy.
Right.
So student gradually will mold from the conventional side to advanced science, from conventional language to the fundamental language. So there won't be any hindrance. And even our university, we take backup classes for the students who are coming from the rural sector or tribal area, so that their communication in English is elevated, in grammar, in speaking, in writing, so that student will be comfortable beyond second semester without hindering his or her progress.
So, lastly, on this National Education Day, I would like to ask what message would you like to give to the students and educators across the country?
At the outset, on this auspicious day of national education, I would like to share my views that the students and the educators should not consider merely education as a knowledge transformation or as a information gaining, but it is about the shaping of the characters, nurturing of the curiosity, and serving to the society.
So, your words truly remind us that while technology is transforming education, but it is the human value, it is the human creativity that must remain and continue guiding learning. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.